Hey people, how y'all doing? It is I, Tony, and welcome back to TTBurger Game Reviews, and you're watching episode 100 of my game reviews, and we are talking about the Crash Bandicoot series. And this is episode 100 part 2. Those of you missed what happened in part 1, fear not, I got you all covered here with a little TTBurger recap to show you all what you missed. In part 1, took a look at the original Crash Bandicoot and gave it a 7.5 out of 10 because the save system was kind of screwy, where you can only save like when you found a gem, or save when you complete the bonus areas and stuff like that, and because some of the controls felt very clunky when you're jumping and stuff like that, among other things. So I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. It's still a good game though. If you want to see how Crash Bandicoot started all off in the video game world, check the game out if you will not know what you're missing. And now for part 2, we're looking at the sequel to the original Crash Bandicoot, and I'm also going to give a shout out to a good friend of mine named HHHaircutter95, who's a big fan of the Crash Bandicoot series and stuff like that, and she requested me to review this series and stuff like that, so I decided to review for the 100th episode. And we got the second game right here for the PlayStation. It's called Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back. And this game was released a year after the original Crash Bandicoot, and it's also a part of the Crash Bandicoot Insanity, the remake trilogy, stuff like that on the PS4 and Xbox One. So I know I'm not looking at the game like I said. I'm looking at the original ones, just the ones I grew up with. Now, as we get started here, once again, Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back is a 3D platformer, much like its predecessor, and usually for a sequel improves on a lot of the stuff that the first game had, like it fixes a lot of the problems and stuff. And for the most part, this game does fix a lot of the problems. There are still some small problems here and there and stuff like that and such that I'll talk about later on, but for the most part, it's a better game than its predecessor. And now let's talk about the story here. The story takes place immediately after the first game, where we see Dr. Neo Cortex falling down on the ground after being defeated by Crash Bandicoot when he saved Tanya and stuff, and he is joined by Dr. N.Gin as he tries to find energy and 25 purple energy crystals and stuff like that for his plan to destroy the world and stuff like that. But they don't. But with a lot of their henchmen gone, they have no other option but then to use Crash Bandicoot to get the crystals and stuff. And little does Crash know that he's being tricked and stuff. And that's basically what the story is. And then we find our hero lounging around with his younger sister, Coco Bandicoot, who was introduced in this game, and she takes the place of Tanya, so that Tanya does not appear in the rest of the games. It's rumored that they broke up and stuff, so that's the thing. But it starts off with Crash lounging around while Coco is on her laptop, and she says, "Crash, my battery is fried. Be a good brother, find me a new battery." And then that's when we get into the warp rooms, and Crash Bandicoot sees the hologram of Dr. Neo Cortex and stuff about the crystals, and that's basically where the story takes place. The story is great. It's a big improvement over the first game's story, and there's actually more to it instead of just opening cutscene and ending cutscene and stuff like that like it was in the first game. Here, there's more to it, and it's basically told through these hologram scenes where it shows Neo Cortex and Coco trying to talk to Crash and stuff. And Crash doesn't talk again because he's a silent protagonist, like how he's been since the first game and stuff. He's a silent protagonist and stuff. That's basically what it is, and it's definitely a great story. For the presentation, what an improvement. Improved graphics, great character models, great backgrounds, and smooth frame rate and stuff like that. Definitely take the cake here. I mean, like, for its time, these graphics were definitely an improvement over the first game. I mean, like, nowadays, they only look slightly better, but back then, when this game came out, they definitely were an improvement over the first game too. And it's just it's also topped up with a smooth frame rate too. The presentation is definitely a must. It definitely shows what the PlayStation can do with the capability and the hardware and stuff, and they definitely improve here a lot. Sound is also good. You got good voice acting, and it's actually more voice acting than it was last time. In the last game, it sounded like it was one person voicing all the characters stuff like that. But here, like, you got a variety here. Like, it's just like we got of course Neo Cortex, who sounds like that gruff dark villain that he is, and then you got Coco, who sounds like the younger sister who's trying to help her older brother and stuff. And that's basically the voice acting for the most part. There is more to it, but I'm not gonna say what else because I don't want to spoil the game or anything like that and stuff. But for the most part, the voice acting is good along with the music, and music is awesome, especially for levels like Hang 8 and Snow Ghost, stuff like that, and Turtlewood, stuff like that. of course, like different levels have different music, but the music you use in those type of levels are my favorite. Now let's get into the meat of this review, the gameplay. The gameplay is better, but it still has some problems that were left over from the first game, but I'll get to know those later on. Once again, this is an old school 3D platform that's very challenging and fun and easy to pick up and play. This time, to go to levels, you don't have like the map and stuff like that to go from level to level. Here you got a warp room where I love the warp rooms because you can walk around and choose whatever level you want to go, depending on which floor you're on too. And it's just really cool. It's like, oh, you want to do level 2 first before level 1, then do that. If you want to do level 3 before level 2 or whatever, so then do that. But I do the levels in order. That's just me. One huge improvement that they made with the sequel is the save system. A much better save system. Now you can save in the warp room whenever you want and stuff like that. And now instead of just like having to save after bonus levels and stuff or finding gems, you can save whenever you want, and that is a huge improvement. A huge improvement with the save system, and it's less frustrating too and stuff as well. And it saves the number of lives you had too, because like when you saved the game last, it wouldn't save the number of lives you had. So it would always start back at four lives and such. You're once again collecting Whomper food, breaking boxes to collect Whomper food and other things. And this, and of course, we introduced us to those purple energy crystals, and you got gems too to unlock as well, and stuff. And of course, you got the boxes you can smash too, and you got Aku Aku, which is pretty much your health systems too. It's just basically simple, fun stuff. You got better controls as well. The controls are not as clunky and just like stiff as like what the jumping was in like the last game. Here they have improved definitely, and Crash has more abilities like sliding and body slamming too. And there's also a couple of you can ride a little polar bear pet called Polar, and that's definitely fucking awesome there. Along with we're being chased by snowballs and polar bears and more. And you got challenging boss fights too, and I love the boss fights, especially with like the Komodo brothers and Ripperoo and stuff and such, and just love all the boss fights. They're very challenging and fun. And you also have vehicles that you can ride too, like you can ride a small hovercraft boat and start down and ride vehicles, and the vehicles are okay. I mean, like just not going to be the best vehicle handling, but still it's fun. And of course, you can't forget what the one thing that everyone mentions is the Crash dance when you get the crystals. Like he dances and then has a big smile on his face like that, and just loves to dance around and stuff. And there is a little spoiler here, a little secret spoiler here that I'm going to mention here, is that like when you collect gems, you will hear a message from N.Gin and stuff like that and such, who's pretty much one of the antagonists from the first game, and he's telling you to collect gems and stuff like that and such, and you collect gems the same way by destroying all the boxes and stuff definitely. Now I gotta get to the negatives here. The negatives here I gotta talk about. First off, there's a lot of backtracking to 100% the game. You're gonna have to go back to certain levels if you want to collect the gems and stuff like that, and to 100% to get the secret true ending and stuff like that. And I don't mind backtracking and stuff like that, but here they kind of go a little over with all the backtracking stuff. It's just not my cup of tea at all and stuff. And there's also a problem with the camera. The camera cannot be rotated stuff like that. The camera moves when Crash moves stuff like that, and just that the camera just could have been better. And not only that, this game is shorter than the first game. In the last game we had 32 levels. This one you only have 25, and so that, and with the balanced difficulty with that, it makes this game a little too easy at times too. And also the jumping has improved, but it still does feel a little stiff at times in certain levels and such. I mean, it's still a great game though, definitely improvement over its predecessor and such. It's just that like it just needs a couple more things ironed out and stuff that to get everything to make it a perfect 10 and stuff like that. Which it will not be in a perfect 10, it will still be in a high rating. So my final thoughts on here. Definitely a great sequel. Definitely a great sequel to Crash Bandicoot, and definitely a great sequel to one of the most popular video game characters of all time and stuff. You took a lot of the problems in the first game and improved them here and stuff, and we got a fantastic sequel. It's still got some problems, but it's definitely better than its predecessor, that's for sure. So what's my final verdict here? Definitely pick this game up if you want some more Crash Bandicoot. If you beat the first game and stuff, and you want more Crash Bandicoot, then definitely pick it up. You'll not know what you're missing. Due to the complaints I have with the game, like the shorter length and the camera, and like just like you have to do a lot of backtracking and stuff, it does affect the game. But I'm not going to get a low score. I'll be giving it a score of an 8.5 out of 10. Definitely the best way to go. 8.5 is definitely the best score for this game, and definitely pick it up if you can find it, because it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. It's one of my favorite games of all time. bad, but now we get that out of the way. Stay tuned for episode 100 part 3. We're going to be looking at Crash Bandicoot Warped. And also for part 4, we're going to look at Crash Team Racing in part 4. So be on the lookout for that, but next up will be Crash Bandicoot Warped. And does this game improve over the first 2 games? Well, you'll have to find out. I can't tell you, because if I tell you now, I'd be spoiling it and such. But you'll find out in episode 100 part 3. And that's pretty much all I got to say for this episode. Those of you who are new here, feel free to subscribe, like the video, comment down below, and check out the other videos on my channel. And don't forget to join my Discord group called TTBurger Gamers United, because we're still always looking for more people to join. I want to get to know my subscribers instead of doing such and do everything else. That's pretty much all I gotta say. This is Tony. Peace out. Have a great day, and see you all in episode 100, part 3.